Hello, and this is Chopper Talks. And I've been doing this series and I call it Walk the Talk. The last and the first episode has to do with the party where I share the fact that the people you allow into your life affect your personal development, they affect your relationship, they affect the kind of results you get. So today, in the second episode of Walk the Talk, I'll be using egg to explain myself. You might want to ask me, do I really love egg? That is not really the situation here. But I learned some lessons of recent from the egg, and I'm going to just use that to share some tips with you about life. In the course of the week, I was trying to fry egg. Then I went to the egg and realized that some insects were perching on the eggs. So I searched for the one that was cracked. I realized that two were cracked. I don't know how they were cracked. I don't know where they were cracked or who cracked them. But what was more important was for me to dispose them, and I felt that was good enough. So I went ahead to boil 2 eggs because I really wanted to take eggs. Afterwards, I realized that 2 of the eggs were also spoiled. And I went back to the eggs and I realized that I kept checking for the cracks and I could not see any visible crack. I washed the eggs, I washed the tray because we're not so much, so I felt that was fine and I left it. Getting there in the afternoon again, I realized that eggs were still perching on the eggs. Then it occurred to me, I have tried to check for cracks, and believe me, if you've ever experienced a place where an egg has gotten spoiled, you will know that the odor is not palatable at all. And that takes me to the point of a society. When you have bad eggs in the society, the earlier you fish them out, the earlier you identify them, the earlier you separate yourself from them, the better for you. Now, going ahead to explain this further, I realized that sometimes with your eyes of having to just look at situations doesn't mean that you'll be able to see the crack. And that doesn't mean that there was no crack. One. Secondly, by the time you don't find those cracks and you believe that all is fine, the egg that is cracked or spoiled has a capacity to affect all the eggs. Point number 3. You might not be able to identify these eggs with your physical eyes, with what people told you, and you might not be able to really determine how many eggs are going to get spoiled. So the best thing is to sometimes separate yourself. Sometimes in social and emotional intelligence, you need to sometimes separate yourself from the situation. Step back. Be sure that when things look a certain way doesn't mean that you have to conclude that is the way. Sometimes you might need to find out the root of the problem. And this might take a whole lot of time, a lot of strategies, a lot of tools if we really want to get it right. So, my advice, when we find ourselves in a place of chaos, in a place that is very, very unpleasant, in a place whereby issues and problems are shooting out, let us be calm. Let's apply a whole lot of social and emotional intelligence to even be able to intervene in that situation. That is going to really help us a lot in solving problem, or what we call crisis management. And this is Chopper Talks. Till I come your way next time on Walk the Talk series, remain calm and stay safe.